I'm 34, and 14 years ago, I stood in a sterile hospital room in East Oakland. My body split open from pushing out a baby boy I'd never hold. A 6-pound secret I buried deep, his cries echoing in a skull I've spent a decade trying to quiet. I was 20 then, a jagged mess of a girl, all sharp edges and spilled ink. My life, a tangle of bruises and bad choices. Sam, my husband now, didn't know me then. Didn't see the Nadia who signed away her son with a trembling hand. Ink smudging on the adoption papers. A decision that haunts me still. Not with regret, but with a cold, steady certainty. We live now in a clapboard house on the edge of Berkeley. Peeling paint. A porch that groans under our weight. A kitchen where coffee stains mark the counter like scars. It's ours, me and Sam. A quiet life with no kids. Just us and the ghosts I don't talk about much. Until Priya, his little sister, pried them loose and turned my truth into a war. Priya's 22, a firecracker with a college girl's zeal and a past that mirrors mine in shadow. She had a baby at 17, a girl she kept, raising her with her boyfriend in a cramped apartment off Telegraph Avenue. Sam's proud of her, calls her the fighter, and I see it. Her dark eyes blazing, her voice sharp with conviction. A mom who clawed her way up from the edge. She's obsessed with adoption now. A passion born from that almost choice she dodged, diving deep into online forums. Anti-adoption threads, a rabbit hole of rage and righteousness. She's studying social work at Cal, wants to save every kid from the system, make adoption obsolete, and I get it. There's rot in that industry, greed and coercion I've tasted myself. But she's wrong about a lot, blind to the gray. And I'm the only birth mother she knows who'll crack open the vault. It's a Wednesday when she calls, voice bright but brittle, cutting through the hum of my dishwasher. Nadia, I need an interview, she says, all business. For a paper, birth mother's rights. You're perfect. I'm at the sink, hands wet, staring at the fog rolling over the bay through our smudged window. Sam's at work, his tech job downtown, coding away, and I'm alone with the weight of it. I don't hide what I did, gave up my boy, walked away, but I don't spill it either, not the raw guts of it. Priya knows the outline, heard it from Sam in clipped tones. Nadia had a kid, gave him up. She's never pushed, not till now, and I hear the hunger in her. Data for her crusade, a voice to fit her narrative. Sure, I say, voice steady, knowing full well my truth's a wrecking ball to her gospel. I agree, not just to help, but to shake her, to crack that smug certainty she wears like armor. We meet Saturday, her place, a second-floor walk-up with peeling wallpaper and toys strewn like landmines. Her daughter, Tara, napping in a crib by the couch. Priya's all focus, notebook open, pen poised, hair pulled tight in a bun that screams control. Sam's warned her, Nadia's honest, don't push, but she's eager. Questions spilling fast. Why'd you give your own baby up? She starts, voice sharp, like I've betrayed some sacred code. I lean back, coffee mug warm in my hands. The memory a live wire in my gut. Because I couldn't keep him, I say, low. Stead, I was 20. Priya. Broke, lost, tethered to a man who'd have broken him too. She scribbles, eyes narrowing. What could have changed it? Resources, support? I laugh, a jagged sound. And she flinches. Nothing, I say, voice cutting. No free house, no childcare. No job would have fixed me. I was a mess, running from one hell to another, my parents' fists to my eggs. He wasn't the father. Hated the kid for it. And I'd have stayed. Let him hurt us both. Drugs, sex, strangers crashing through. Keeping him would have drowned him in that. Her pen pauses, mouth tightening. Regrets? She presses, and I meet her gaze, unblinking. Iro, I'd do it again. Every time. She shifts, uncomfortable, tossing out studies, skin to skin, bonding, stats she's memorized like scripture. If you knew the benefits, would you have held him? I shake my head, slow, deliberate. No, holding him would have broken me, made me keep him, and his life would have been shit. I wasn't selfless enough to put him first. Not then. He'd have been a punching bag, a witness to my wreckage. I knew it, even at 20. I wasn't going to change for a baby. Priya's jaw drops, pen trembling, and I lean in, voice raw. Well, I wanted him. I wanted him. Anything. She fights me, voice rising. You don't know that. Support could the. I cut her off. Sharp. I do know. That Nadia. She's mine, Priya. I lived her. She was a rebel. A fuck you to my parents, clinging to a monster because he pissed them off. Therapy. A house? I'd have torched it all. Run back to him. Exposed my boy to every ugly thing. He wasn't my priority. He was now arguing. Adoption's not a guarantee. He could be suffered anyway. I nod. Calm, brutal. Maybe. But it gave him a shot, more than I could. I wasn't a mother then, not the kind he deserved. Her face twists. Anger, disbelief, a storm brewing. This goes against everything. She snaps, slamming her notebook shut. You're making adoption sound like the only way. I shrug, unflinching, because sometimes it is. I can't lie about that. She's on her feet, pacing, voice shrill. Why'd you say yes then? You've made my paper harder. Ruined it. What made my paper harder? Ruined it. I stand too, voice steady. You asked for my truth. I gave it. I thought you'd want to hear it, even if it's not your fairy tale. She stares, eyes wet, and storms out, leaving me with Tara's soft snores and a silence that hums with fallout. Sam's home that night, our couch sagging under us, his arm around me, the bay a dark smear outside. He's pissed, calls Priya. She's wrong to flip out. You answered her questions. That's it. Priya fires back over speaker, voice cracking. She's twisting it, making adoption the hero when it's broken. The family ignites. His mom, Anita, texts, "You're cold. Nadia, support her dreams." Cousin Vic snaps, "Shh, she's a kid. Cut her slack." But Sam's sister-in-law, Tara's aunt, Lena, calls, fierce. Priya's blind. You're real, Nadia. She needs that. I'm torn, guilt gnawing, defiance blazing. Did I bait her, knowing I'd smash her thesis? Thanksgiving hits. Anita's house, a sprawl of turmeric and tension, packed with relatives. Priya's there, Tara on her hip, eyes glinting like knives. She corners me by the stove, voice loud. You sabotaged me, made adoption sound noble. The room freezes. Heads turn, gasps ripple. And I'm raging, voice raw. You wanted truth. I gave it. My boy's better off. I wasn't enough. Sam's up. Sharp. Priya, back off. She's not your punching bag. Anita shrill. But Lena's fierce. Nadia's right. Priya's deluded. Vic mutters. She's harsh. Showed lied, and it's chaos. Shouts. tears, Tara's wails, a crucible of blame and loyalty. Priya sobbing, "You're wrong. Adoption's theft." And I'm out, Sam behind me. The night a blur of headlights and silence. "You're not the asshole," he says. "Hand tight on mine?" And I nod. But the war is a scar. Priya rewrites her paper, grudging, sharp-edged, and the family splits, some shunning me, some cheering. My boy's a ghost, a choice I stand by, and I'm fierce, unbowed. Am I the asshole? To her, maybe. To Joe, I'm the